And Lee.
Thank you.
Again, out of the kitchen. Hi, Craig. Hi. Don't mind that. It's only like 5x. Yeah.
But Greg, did you actually fire this thing up?
All three of our lovely viewers. I'm as Greg wonderfully put it, some type of person at Fold. Been doing it for a couple of years.
Greg didn't start the live.
It's still waiting.
Is this? Am I reading this? This is what you want me to read right now?
No.
Not yet.
Wait a minute or two, and
We'll cue you in for
Damn
the
it, potato.
I'm glad you didn't start because I wasn't muted.
Subscribe.
Yeah, I wasn't muted either, so.
Yeah, everybody can hear
here
us.
we go.
But
All right, this is why it's a test stream, okay? All right, Will, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody who's watching here.
All right, what's up, everybody? I'm glad to be here with the meme factory that may or may not exist. Looks to be like we have a couple live ones here. Yeah, I run Fold app. I give away a ton of Bitcoin. I might give away more Bitcoin than anybody else has given away ever, which may come down as one of the dumbest business model decisions you've ever made. But that's for my future self to figure out. But otherwise, go spin the wheel, go get some Bitcoin. Happy to be here, guys.
We're definitely happy to have you. I don't know if you've seen the show before, but I understand that you understand the format. This is the part of the show where we make most of our money. So the sponsor this week is Fold app, and they've sent the ad copy to me, and I've sent it over to you. I don't know who in your company actually wrote that, but whenever you're ready.
Let's just say we'll be putting up a job description for a copywriter after this, but let's give it a roll. All right. Hey, everybody. My name is Will Reeves, and this episode of the Meme Factory podcast TM is brought to you by Fold's new suite of products and services. Inspired by conversations we've had with our partners at Sus Corp, we began to ask ourselves some really hard questions. Questions like, why can't I do anything and earn Bitcoin rewards? How can I bring down the traditional financial system by using its own rails? What if we could attach a spin wheel to all of our life's choices? After some serious soul searching, tinkering, product development, light bribery, and a bit of microdosing, we indeed have arrived at some solutions. Number one, you can't make money by doing nothing. That's not how money works. That's not how transfer of value works. You're not providing any value, so you don't get any Bitcoin. Two, we already fixed that. Use the Fold card, pay for all of your products and services through card, and we give you Bitcoin back slowly but surely, killing traditional finance. Three, you're in for a treat. Now, the Fold app will recognize any time you find yourself at the crossroads of a major life choice and ask if you want to spin this wheel. This could have a positive or negative consequence, so choose well. Some highlights of this new wheel include the Womp Womp. If you land on this one standard account, you immediately shit your pants. With the premium card, however, your worst enemy will immediately shit his or her pants. Number two, 10% back. Score this bad boy and you get an additional 10% of whatever you are already doing. Driving over the speed limit, have an extra 10% on that speed. How about the over-under? If your decision will affect your life for less than a week, you get a text message saying, good job. If the decision will affect your life for more than a week, you get a timeshare in Florida with 1 month prepaid and your neighbor, Mr. Greg Zaj himself. Switch all of your life's bills and choices over to Fold app today and add a little spice into your life while we rip legacy finance apart from the inside, sat by sat.
Hey.
fantastic. Well,
Thank you.
You did
We
amazing.
can get paid now.
Yeah.
We can get paid now. Thank you.
All right. So you did a wonderful job with the ad read. I can't wait to start spinning in real life. The shit my pants thing is a little weird though. So you've obviously created a wildly successful business with Fold. So that should do wonders for your self-esteem. But one of the things a lot of our viewers were asking me to ask you is, how did you cope with being the shadow of your two older brothers, Supermen, Keanu and Christopher?
Well, living in the shadow always makes you understand that you're never going to be in the light, so you can embrace the darkness. You can be in it, which is why I find myself here with this great company, in the muck of it all, in the shadow industry of working in Bitcoin with the criminals and malcontents of the world, as well as working for liberation for all the rest, away from the Supermen. We don't need the Supermen of this world.
Nah.
So, in fact, putting you in the shadows, we're all embracing our inside Joker self. And, you just have to live with it. I will tell you that at this point, I do have a couple one-ups. I'm not left stranded in a wheelchair, unlike my older brother, Christopher Reeve. I don't have a son who's now anchoring news networks without pants on. I don't know if you remembered, he did at the beginning of the pandemic. Christopher Reeve's son, Will Reeve, was anchoring a major thing, got up and had no fucking pants on, was walking around. And so my Twitter blew up thinking that I was him. So that was one of the moments that I was very glad to be the less successful, less recognized version of my indeed high performing brothers and sisters out there.
Did he do that on purpose?
I have to imagine so, in hindsight, to get
That's
some
kind of a
clicks on
boss
it.
move. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would have chosen different underwear. I would say that.
All right, man. So,
I have a question. When in Europe?
Oh God. When you're you're in Greece, right?
Yeah.
Just stole my question, Yellow.
Before Strike Europe.
Oh.
Strike Europe.
Well, yeah, that's like a given, but like that's.
I
let
love
the man answer his question.
the amount of when that I live under on a daily basis are hilarious. One of them obviously is a when Europe. It's a good question. To me, that's a 2023 thing in earnest. So I don't know if that's a question that you wanted, the answer you wanted, Yellow.
No, I can hold on until the 1 year. Yeah, great.
Yes, I mean, it's less than 1 year, almost halfway through 2022. It's very wild. So we'll get to you soon, and I'll come visit you out there. I would love to spend some time in the Greek Isles. I was just actually out in France on the coastline there. And had a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Had a little bit of those Greek vibes down there. Ate some fish.
Yeah, for sure.
Yellow won't ever meet up with anyone, so don't even try.
No, I'll meet with you guys and girls if you come here.
Right.
But I'm not moving.
Yeah, you met up with Sessions not that long ago, didn't you?
Yeah, Ben was here.
Cool.
Okay, I'm coming to Greece.
Good. All right. Well, what are your plans for this bear market? Is this your first one, second one, third one?
Oh, this is right here. This is why I'm actually chosen to sit underneath my Roman Greek golden olive branch, because it gives me gladiator vibes of watching the Colosseum, the bears just ripping apart shitcoin Ponzi's left and right. And I feel like this, the Joaquin Phoenix just getting to go up or down to depending on who we're at. I mean, it's weird. This is number 3 at least running Fold. It's been definitely one major one. But it's something that I'm not afraid of the bear anymore. It's something that I've internalized, and I'm totally okay with these rides. It's something that I'm sure a lot of you have already, what I'm also saying is we're just numb completely from the inside, and we don't have any feelings anymore. And, we're just here to, entertain ourselves, bear or bull market. But
I think that's true. What you're calling out, that we've kind of seen this before, but I think maybe 12 of the 14 people listening right now have maybe it might be their first time. How do you compare this to? How do you compare something like what happened with Celsius, for example, to something that happened like post 2017?
I mean, one of the biggest. I mean, you look at the last bear market. What were the main things? There were a couple funds like what's his name? Murad's fund was like blowing up. You had like little funds here and there blowing up, but the scale in which we're operating now and this space is operating is just at a complete other level. And not only that, they're all intertwined. You have this, you see this, obviously the Luna stuff, but then cascaded into Celsius. There's a good reason to believe that this is highly related. And then you have funds like 3AC, which currently so maybe has $1 billion, $10 billion in liquidity that's now imploding in the market. Nobody knows who's holding the bag on that. So we're only at the beginning of seeing this cascade happening right now. We're definitely going to see more. And so again, hold your keys. If you were playing with fire and any any of the yield stuff, any of the Rube Goldberg Ponzi's, I would suggest you immediately protect yourself in this moment. Bring it to safety and into the loving arms of Bitcoin, and just sit on the sidelines. You don't need to worry now. In fact, this is the best possible time to have an entry. This is when the true stacks are made, and it's something that you look back even right at the beginning of pandemic when we touched 3K at that one point. You're going to look back at these moments and say, why didn't I do more? Why couldn't I make it work more? And sometimes, you don't have any dry powder to put in there, but at the end of the day, at least keep yourself protected. And if you do so, these bear markets are going to affect you a lot less. You shouldn't be investing in Bitcoin if you're not looking 4, 5, 6 years ahead of time anyway. And so if you have that mindset, this should be a wonderful moment to celebrate. Just keep yourself safe.
You made a decision early on with Fold that is proving to be a very good decision. You guys encourage your users to take their Bitcoin off of the app and take it into self-custody. Why did you decide to do that instead of doing something like letting people earn yield or being a custodial wallet?
Well, this is so for operating. This is one of the moments where you have to savor, especially operating a Bitcoin only business. So in bull markets, there's an element where Bitcoin only businesses are perceived as not taking opportunities that they could, the market is giving them, right? So I have competitors, Celsius, Crypto.com. You can name. I won't talk about some of these other competitors that will come after me after what I'm about to say, but they get to offer these products that are just propped up by just Ponzi economics and ways to offer these very short-term massive gains that as a Bitcoin only business, I cannot print money. I do not put customer funds at risk with, insane yield products and, complex derivatives. We just don't do that. And so you'll get users coming to us and saying, hey, I earn 20% back on every single purchase I make. Fold, what can you do about that? I'm just in the bull markets, I'm saying, well, I'll see you in the bear market, because this is what always happens. There was one thing, I think it was Buffett who said this, but in bear markets, one thing he got right is in bear markets, you get to know who's actually wearing pants, who can actually swim. And so this is a moment where you really get to savor the value of keeping things very simple, staying true to offering something that you can stand behind, that is safe for your users, that your team believes in, and that that is on the path to something that is net generative good for the world. We are not causing meltdowns and losing people's life savings. Now we're doing quite the opposite. We've had 2 months now in a row that are just absolute record sat stacking from our users that they're going to look back, and a lot of them are going to have earned on rewards more than most people have in their life savings. And that's really special to be able to have. But it's not always easy to run that path, especially in bull markets. And so in a bear market, this is the time to appreciate the decisions you make and staying true to Bitcoin.
On that similar note, is it on ideology? You don't go down the so-called capitalist road that other like companies might offer like Celsius or something, or is it like your Bitcoin ethics that stops you? I mean, is it risk? Do you think about risk and how to safeguard your company in a bear market, or do you think that's not who I am?
It's about risk tolerance in a way, and being both being someone who's ideologically originally drawn to Bitcoin for some of its founding principles, and inspires and guides a lot of how I try to run this business as well, and that affects the decisions I make. It's not very hard at all to plug our user deposits into these yield bearing
Oh, I know.
Ponzi
That's why I'm
schemes.
asking.
So,
yeah.
and doing so, in fact, in a bull market time, would probably lead to 3, 4, 5x
Yeah.
multiples
In the bull market, everybody is a genius. Everybody's
Exactly.
a genius. Everything works perfectly.
That's it. And now, so there's like, what I'm saying is like, I can tell you it's ideological, but I can also say that there's real skin in the game, because Fold could have been pumping up our valuation by doing these, throwing up some very significant early short-term gains that could have allowed us to go to VCs and say, hey, VC, we're not Bitcoin only anymore. Look, we're playing the game you want us to play. Here's my bag, and throw your money in there. And that's what a lot of people do. And it works really well. It doesn't work right now. And so my point is that yes, ideology guides a lot of it, but also we made this decision for a business decision because we can look at these things and we can know how they work. And what Fold is trying to do is become at the very top of the funnel for people to join this space, to join Bitcoin. And so if we are immediately introducing them to things that I know will have problems for them in 6 months to 12 months, we are automatically doing a disservice. And I know I'm going to be burning users that I would hope to have for a lifetime. And so to me, it's just bad business, even though in the short term, bull markets, a lot of VC money would say otherwise. You're making a poor decision. You're limiting your market. You're limiting your opportunities. And I just don't see it that way, because we're playing a longer game.
Yeah, and in the end, it is like the logical thing to do, because like the majority of startups that survive in the end are the ones that don't grow like crazy at the start, like those kind of projects do, like so-called decentralized. And so anyway,
that's exactly it. This is also what I like, is that before easy money era that we were in as of 1 month ago, you could go out pure growth tactics. Your startup makes zero money, no revenue. All you're doing is pure hype. VCs pumping money into your ecosystem. Now you go and talk to VCs, and they're like, where's the revenue? Where are the fundamentals? And you're like, wait, 1 month ago you were just saying, where's the hype? I don't want to see revenue. I just want to see, like, just put up numbers on the board. You can make up those numbers too if you want. And now they're saying, where are the fundamentals? And so this is where I like, and I thrive in. This is where the kind of environment you want to build a business in, because number one, it's long-term. Ideally, you're not constantly going back to the VC well to constantly get re-upped on capital. Ideally, you're creating a product that people love, and you're creating a business that's sustainable because of that virtuous relationship between the two. And so we're going to see a lot of companies who over leverage themselves, went way too much on hype. We're giving everything away for free. A bit ironic, because we do give Bitcoin away for free, but not building on fundamental good business model, good business principles. And so that's one of the things that we have done well at Fold. There is a way to give Bitcoin away for free and make money, which is, to me, seems to be the perfect type of business, and one that I like to do. But this is the environment. So it's cockroach mode time. It's like survive, continue to offer something great, grow in the right ways, in the most sustainable ways, and build something good and lasting. So I like this better than easy money.
And in 1 year, I'm gonna have the card that I just made here, and my May Believe card is gonna be real.
Congratulations, Yellow.
Thank you.
Don't stop believing, Yellow.
Yeah,
Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing.
When black metal Fold card?
Oh,
Yeah, that's been a big one. This one I can honestly say we've wanted to have for so long because so many people want it. And this one was truly a supply chain issue that we had that now we're getting over. So with our upcoming credit or card product that we're going to be launching, you will be able to have options beyond the existing card that you see there with the one that yellow has nice mocked up right there. So
Now,
I love the metal ones there. They're expensive. Do you know how much a metal card, how much do you think that costs to produce?
Is it something
Anyway,
around the amount
few
I pay
dollars,
yearly for
few cents.
the Fold app?
It costs over $50 to produce one of those.
bullshit.
And so you just look
American
at
dollars?
Yes, not
Not
yellow,
Canadian
not
dollars?
yellow Greek dollars or whatever. they
Petrodollar.
have
We're
over
talking petrodollars. All right.
there. Yes, petrodollars. Yes.
That's gold stuff.
Yes, it's insane. And so, for that, you really have to be sure you're gonna recoup that money coming back on the other side. That's why Apple can come in and just dump, titanium gold encrusted cars because they have 10 billion that they can just burn on a daily basis. But yes, we're gonna do that too. It's about time Greg gets his heavy metal card he can drop on Yellow's head right now.
Yes.
So.
Oh man.
Why do the Americans always have the best toys? God damn it!
American exceptionalism, man. We're just better than you, period. Let's go to Labrador real quick. I haven't been keeping score, but Labrador, where do you have the points right now?
Let it be good, dog.
Yeah, yep. So Keanu Reeves. This is the thing. I just keep some scores here, and then I just read it. So I'll just go one by one. Yellow. You got a motorcycle.
Yes.
Greg, you got a blank DVD.
Yeah.
Yep, that's pretty cool. Becca, I spin a wheel that I have here, and I just got 616 sats. I don't know if that works for you. I think is the first scoring numbers we have. Sean got a soccer ball. Yeah. Pedro, you got a remote control.
Sweet.
Yeah. Ardi, you have a microphone because you've been talking a lot. And and Will.
No reaction from RD. He stayed on mute.
He didn't even unmute.
He didn't even unmute. Because he doesn't have a microphone.
Yeah. And Will got the best score, and I think he's going to appreciate it. It's an air conditioning, but in degrees Celsius.
Ooh.
Oh.
Okay.
I can do the math. It's half. You double it and you add 20.
32 or something. 32 is like the
Wait,
closest.
if you double it,
Yeah,
it's
you add
108 degrees
32.
where you are. So why would I double it
There we
and
go.
add 20 or 30?
No, you
divide it by 2.
He said
Yeah,
double
and
it.
sep-
Well,
No.
from centigrade perspective. Yeah.
Guys,
Oh, okay.
I got an
Wow.
easier way. You go to Google and
No,
you type it.
That's harder.
It's way.
it's harder.
You want Google to know what you're doing? I
Yeah.
thought you had good ops.
No.
Like,
Let's all
Yeah.
just agree that Celsius is a shitcoin. Just
total
like
shitcoin.
the company Celsius.
No,
Absolutely.
it's not.
Yes.
The freezing one is the 0 one.
No. The coldest day is 0 degrees, and when I have a fever, that's 100 degrees.
Are you talking about?
That's how Fahrenheit works, people.
So Will, I'm curious.
Whoa, Americans
like
are weird.
we've had a
No,
nice little dump in the last few
we
months.
won't drop this. We won't drop this.
Okay.
No,
We'll
no,
fight
we're
about
dropping.
this.
We're
No.
dropping the
No,
Celsius.
no, wait.
No,
We're
no,
moving
no,
on.
no.
One second.
Why is the
We have a
coldest
guest.
0 degrees?
Look, I
No,
just
no,
want to
no.
talk about Celsius and Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
That's all.
What
have a
does
guy.
NASA use?
Spaceships, American spaceships from Florida,
Countdown.
and they measure in Kelvin.
3, 2, 1. Oh, joules.
Okay.
How many spaceships are in the Greek space fleet?
None.
Because they use Celsius,
No.
so they liquidated.
We're just laying back now, man. We have the empires and everything.
They're too busy eating euros.
We're taking it easy. So, Pedro,
I was trying to understand. I'm curious. Does a Bitcoin only company do as well in a bear market? Like, the last couple months, we've got some kind of information, right? Uh, how are users growing just as much as they were before? Do you see a difference?
Yeah, we've had, because Fold's been definitely through at least one other major bear bull cycle, and so we know kind of how this works. Generally, what you see is actually increased activity on the platform with existing users. So like May and June. May, we just hit a record volume month. June, we're going to blow May out of the water. It's going to be even crazier. So like the people that are using the platform are using it even more than they ever have. Why? Because they know the value of stacking in a bear market. And once you're using it, something that's part of your behavior, you're not like really changing it unless there's something big reason to. So you don't see that. What you do see though is the bull markets bring just this natural wave of organic interest into Bitcoin. And being a company that exists at the very top of the funnel, the company that says, I don't care how much you know about Bitcoin, I don't care if you have a wallet, I don't care anything about you, just download this app and spin this wheel and you're going to get some Bitcoin. Like that basic of an instinct for people who have an interest of it. You just, in bull markets, you just are having your sales are full of just a natural organic flow of users into the platform because they're hearing about it on mainstream media. Their friends are talking about it 24/7, and so you get that. In bear markets, that starts to quiet a bit, and so you kind of get a lower growth rate there that doesn't have that like insane multiple on it. But nonetheless, I can tell you, thousands of people are joining Bitcoin every single day. But it's not the same as a top of the market bull moment when you're getting tens of thousands.
Pedro, did you have a follow-up for that? What did you think it was going to be like?
Pedro's gone.
Pedro, you're muted.
We lost him. Fuck. All right, so Will, you made an important decision today. You came on the pod instead of either getting your air conditioning fixed or going to the doctor, and I think that says a lot about our viewers. So everybody's viewing today. Go get a Fold card.
Awesome. Yeah, when I come back on Twitter next week with a unfortunate diagnosis because I didn't find this thing a week earlier because I was on the goddamn meme factory podcast, and now I'm going to go under the knife. I'm going to look at all you, but right now it's a good decision.
Yeah, it's a good decision moving forward as well.
This is a long time coming. I don't think everyone knows. We've been trying to schedule this, and we've been bailing on each other for months. And I almost did it again today.
Nearly a year.
You know what happened, right? Like we started this thing, and Craig is a monster, right? A DM monster. He goes in the DMs, and he starts booking people like crazy. And it's like, Craig, we have only 1 day per week. Like, how far have you booked? Like a few months. We're booked for a few months. Like,
yeah,
okay.
it was like last October we were booked through May.
I slowed down. We're only booked through July right now. All right, so Will came out. I saw you tweet recently. You're hiring engineers. What are you building?
Oh my God, yeah. I mean, so you have Fold, which allows you to earn Bitcoin rewards. The idea is you get people right at the top. I want to earn it passively. I don't have a wallet. I may be buying Bitcoin here and there. I may be doing other stuff with Bitcoin, or maybe I don't know anything about Bitcoin, but I'm just going to start earning it because I just want to get a piece. Our users is asking for the entire suite of all the other things to do. They want to buy it. They want to send it. They want to hold it. They want to share it. They want to do all the things that all the services are there. And so we're building essentially all those things out right now. And so we just need more hands on deck. And so more engineers, front end, back end, solid people. We definitely need them. And then, of course, we have there's 500,000 people or more that have $100 to $1,000 on Fold. And for that, we want to have a product that we'll be releasing that allows them to make use of that Bitcoin without necessarily selling that Bitcoin. So essentially, imagine you could use a Fold card that gives you a line of credit that's attached to the rewards that you've already earned on Fold. So you're not selling your Bitcoin to do so. And every time you spend, you're earning more and more rewards. It's increasing that line of credit. So you're never putting up your own Bitcoin that you've bought or that's in cold storage up for any risk. You can keep it all there. And it's a self-fulfilling kind of virtuous cycle there of I can start earning rewards, and that rewards just increases my purchasing power over time, which is essentially the whole point of Bitcoin is to increase your purchasing power in a world where our purchasing power is dwindling if we're holding anything but that.
And I fucking love this. Whoever is listening to this, right, and they are in the fence between shitcoins and Bitcoin, that's the difference, right? Like shitcoin projects, they're all hype in the bull market. They offer you 30% API because you're giving them your freedom. They use it and then they lose it in the bear market. In the other hand, you have like startups in the Bitcoin community, like the guys here Fold, they're hiring in the bear market. Strike is hiring in the bear market. Swan is starting a new fucking great show in the bear market. Like, they don't give a fuck. It's the bear market. It's the bull market. We have a plan down. It works. It's legit. It's based in truth. So how are we gonna go wrong, right? So if you're in the fence, that's the difference. Don't go for the 30 API. Like send your CV in some of those companies. Work for it. Get a second job, man. It's not easy. It's not difficult.
We give we are not we'll even make it sweeter. So if anybody refers me an engineer and give you $1,000 in Bitcoin, which right now $1,000 in Bitcoin is a good chunk of Bitcoin.
It's
so
like 5 million
that
sats
offer's
right
open.
I quit, Greg. Where do I apply, Will?
Does that mean I get 1,000?
Did Will just poach our engineer?
Is Labber our engineer?
Engineers? What?
Oh, Labber was HR department.
No, he runs the shitty editing department. I thought.
Well, both.
Yeah.
And Pedro's IT.
The editing department.
Well, I'm curious. You talked about using your Sats back as a way to basically give you a credit line for this proposed credit card. So, how do you tamper the volatility of Bitcoin with the credit line?
So with that, there's a couple ways you can go. Do you want to set up a time where, you're constantly worrying about are you going to get margin called because you're getting 100% of value? That's not a life that I think people want to live. That's a stressful thing. And so really we would give you access to a portion of the value of that Bitcoin so that primarily number one is that even in the worst case drawdown, 80% drawdowns, you're not even thinking about possible liquidation at all. And so we want to create a system where you're not thinking about that. And what that means is you won't be able to access maybe 100% of that Bitcoin's value, but that's not there to limit you in terms of how much you can use. It's so that you're kept safe, not over leveraging yourself, and you don't get into a bad situation. And so for us, it's about creating something sane that you can avoid that, but also it's on your rewards that will continue to grow. I've been using Fold for the past year and I've over $4,000 in rewards. It's a good chunk to cover my monthly expenses. And so the idea is a year from now, that's going to be with Bitcoin's multiple, $8, $10, $20,000. Suddenly I have a line of credit that can cover just about anything I need in my life. And it's all because I earned some rewards on a debit card one year.
So you get your credit card, it's backed by your Bitcoin rewards. You earn Bitcoin back on your credit card, and then I can use my prepaid debit card to pay the balance of my Fold credit card and earn Sats back. Is that right?
Well, people will probably do that. I'm sure that you can. People are currently doing that with some of these things. The idea is that you'll be able to use it. You'll still be able to USD balance. You'll have a Bitcoin balance. Fold will be provisioned with a Bitcoin wallet that you can use a unique address that you can see where your Bitcoin is at all times. You know, there's no rehypothecation or anything like that happening on Fold's platform. It's really just about allowing you to make use of that Bitcoin in a way that you just never have before, without all the predatory, parasitic things that are normally involved with giving up, you know, making use of your Bitcoin. So that will be paired with all the debit cards you always have. And if you want to try out the credit, you can always activate that and get started.
Now, and I'm asking this for a friend, definitely not me. What if you have horrible credit because you max out all your credit cards buying Bitcoin? Can that person, not me, still get a Fold credit card?
So there's a funny thing about Bitcoiners, in that Bitcoiners generally tend to have higher net worths than their peers in their demographics. The only thing is they also tend to have very bad credit scores, partly because of activities like Mr. Greg over here.
No.
But also
this is somebody else. This is somebody else.
Yeah, somebody else, of course. And so one of the factors of this card, and one of the factors and amazing things about creating a credit card that allows you to leverage the Bitcoin that you have, is that you don't need a credit score. So now you can give access to credit to people who have never been able to, or haven't been able to because they've been locked out of that system, or because they're like Greg's friend who have terrible credit. And the next thing above that is, because this line of credit is backed by something, you also get access to cheaper capital, which means things like interest rates tend to be lower. And in the fiat world, generally, when you don't have a good credit score, your interest rates go up. And so you get into this predatory kind of credit trap that wrecks a lot of people. All the rewards and most of the profit made on traditional credit card models are based on the backs of people essentially going into default and having a very, very bad time. And so when you swap that out for being based on an asset that you've earned in a way that allows you to leverage that, you actually get to create a different type of credit system that is more in line with the interests of the end user, which doesn't need to rely on a 3-digit score that tells them whether they're going to have a good time or bad time in life and what their options are. Doesn't rely on, doesn't tell them what type of interest rate they're going to get, and it's going to be way too high for them to repay. It allows you to really reimagine the whole thing in a different way. So Bitcoin does fix this in a little way.
That sounds absolutely amazing. And I'm excited for that future, honestly. So, I mean, if it's cool with you, I'd like to take a minute and just laugh at the Europeans and Canadians.
Correct. They're not getting
very, very funny.
And anybody else who's not in America, basically. So what does Fold look like in 10 years after you're done building out all this stuff, Will?
Yeah, what does Fold look like in hyper Bitcoinization?
What does Fold look like in a hyper Bitcoinized world?
When it's
what does Fold look like in a parallel universe that the Nazis won?
Yeah.
What is
what? No, don't answer that. No.
I mean, in hyper Bitcoin, in hyper Bitcoin universe, we have there are hundreds of thousands of people who are retired on earning a small amount of rewards on every purchase that they've made. Somehow stacking sats in this way allows them economic freedom. It means Fold doesn't have to do anything. It can sit on its Bitcoin reserves. But what it also means is that our model of looking at financial systems and financial products that have historically been set up to be predatory and parasitic on the average everyday person, that we were able to successfully create a new vision, a new stack that is actually in line with the needs, the hopes, the dreams of an average person. It's not an extractive model. It's something where you can actually align incentives in a way that really hasn't been possible in a previous system. And so what that means is, overall money works for you, and services like Fold are going to be the ones that help that process transition and show that way. And now, I stand beside many other founders and other companies and other people working on other Bitcoin only businesses, and we're all doing we're all doing that work. We're all just doing it from a little bit of a different angle, but ultimately it's doing the same thing. How do you create a financial system that kind of works for the interests of those that use it, rather than those who are providing that service? So
I have a marketing campaign for you, Will. Instead of RBF, you guys have all heard of that before, right?
Yep.
Well, there's a new
beef
bitch face.
faces.
Not anymore. Retired by Fold.
Oh!
Ooh.
Nice.
How many? Once
See,
people
we
start
did
getting retired by Fold, boom, you just get that counter going.
Mhm.
You had 100 people retired by Fold, 1,000 people retired by Fold.
That's
That was free will.
That is amazing. We'll actually put that on the leaderboard in the app. Just like self-reporting retirement on your rewards. I love it.
RBF.
I'll send you an invoice for that idea.
All right, so
Apparently Labra he's also accounting too.
So we're building on that new kind of economic infrastructure. Like a part that I'm really excited, but I haven't seen something yet is like microloans. And I'm not talking the crazy 30% API that the sitcoins like, but I feel like microloans is going to be one of the next things that's going to be very
are you saying microphones?
Microloans.
Like with this type you talk into?
Yes, microloans.
I got you, Yellow. I'm following.
Yeah.
Microphones.
So I feel like because it's very, very important, especially for countries that are not very privileged, to download an app, have a card, electronic one or real one, and have the opportunity to get a microloan. Like, do you see that something that in the future you might incorporate, or what?
Where's he going to put the microphones?
Your ass.
Where does a microloan stop? Like at $1,000 or 5,000? Like how big?
In Greg's ass.
If it's digital, you plug it in with USB.
But you plug it in the wrong way and
Let him answer, you fucking idiots.
We're just giving him some time. He's thinking.
I'm just asking for clarification about the microphones, where they go.
Yeah, okay.
So,
Shut up now.
Yes. Here we go. So Yellow, here it is. So number one, this bear market is great for things like this because the noise of 30% APR, all of that gets squashed a bit. And now actually looking at something that actually works, has a reasonable rate of return, all that. Now people start to look and say, oh, that's valuable again. So
it's a noise filtering microphone.
Yeah, so noise.
The guy doubles down on his city joke. Stop it.
I think it's a critical part of the infrastructure. The problem always with these loans is the collections. So unless the user is putting something up or has something to stop runaway, it's the lending issue is very, very difficult. Now, if you're doing it at scale and they're small enough where you're lending out, like, to Sean's point, under $1,000, you can have a certain tolerance of loss there that could be made up for the other bits. And I think that's where some of this is going to have to be figured out, is what is that risk tolerance of knowing you're going to lose capital? Because at the end of the day, you loan someone, $500, which is life-changing money in some countries, and then you never see them again. That's $500 loss for you. How are you recovering that? What's going on there? And so if you can create that model and crack that issue, Bitcoin as a technology is a perfect way of doing it. But the problem is that social factor that's involved of recouping that loss. So how you get there, I don't think that part has been totally figured out yet. But certainly Bitcoin is a better way to do it than, spinning up some type of Ponzi to do it for a year and then, rug pull your followers. So
maybe you have, like, for each guy from so-called third country that wants a microloan to do something with his business or something, like a guy, I don't know, in Latin America, in Greece or wherever, that guy should have like a patron that like basically backs him up if he takes the money and run or something, a guy that is like more privileged than him. And I think that a lot of Bitcoiners would want to support that. Like, okay, if the guy takes the money and run, like it's $100 for me. It's nothing, you know. So
I think that's really smart. I think that's also in line with the idea that Bitcoin is not just an economic. It's not just an economic paradigm it brings. It changes social paradigms, and one of it is this idea of localism or smaller governing tribes that are able to operate and actually compete with larger systems. And so one of those ways I think that you're kind of pointing to here is that you could have more local organizations where people who are part of that community, they see a store, they see that are actually choosing to lock up funds in a community basis. And then that user is given a loan, and that person, if they run off, the community is then slashed. And that community then is actually incentivized to enforce that Yellow doesn't run off with his $500 loan and goes on vacation. It's like, actually Yellow put that to work at his microphone shop, and his business is booming.
Microphone.
Yeah, I mean, this is fantastic. You can really amplify the voices of smaller communities.
It doesn't seem like Will thought.
Where is that fucking microphone? I had the microphone here. Wait, I'm gonna find it.
While he's finding that, Will, I just want to take a minute to say thank you for the instant funding. I know that was a pain for you guys. Can you walk me through some of the pain points of that one, or is that all internal?
Oh my God. That was there's so many. It was a painful journey. It's so many things learned. I mean, like, so instant funding in the world of fiat, like we all like to think instant funding, make it work instantaneous. What instant funding means in fiat,
I was on
because there's no such thing as instant. There's no such thing as instant in the world of fiat, and there's no such thing as finality in the world of fiat unless you're talking about 3, 4, even days up to 7 months. And so what you really mean by instant funding is that you're having the company, Fold in this case, float your funds on your behalf. And so when you're doing volumes of tens, hundreds of millions of dollars, and we're a relatively small start. We did a Series A, we raised, $13 million. But now how are we going to float capital to support $100 million of volume flowing through us instantaneously? And because it's instant, now fraud is now a total possibility there, that one day of fraud in that $100 million flow could be a very, very serious problem for you. And so figuring out how to do that right, where the economics work, because it's also not free. Anytime you're doing instant transfers like this, that costs money to Fold as well. So it also affects your economics. So this is like the instantaneous funding thing is like such a cluster, and that shows all the wrong things and limitations of the fiat system in a very big way. Rife with fraud. There is no such thing as cash finality, balkanized in regional ways, and very like highly regulated here, but not there. And just putting your hand in that, you're going to get burned. And so that was one thing, just to figure that out. The second bit is you need to have partners to do that with you. And Fold went down the path, and we found a partner that just wasn't going to be the right partner. And so we had to finally settled on someone, and that has actually been really great. So now the amount of, that's part of the reason why we're hitting such records right now, is because the velocity going through Fold is much, much higher with this instant funding. So you're welcome, but it definitely, like, I'm surprised I haven't lost more hair because of that.
It'll come. The hair falls out on its own. Yellow, I love what you've done with the microloans. All right. So speaking of instant funding and final settlement being real with Bitcoin, what do you guys have any future plans with Lightning? I know currently you can buy gift cards with the app, but I think that's about it.
Yeah. So we've primarily used our Lightning implementation for like essentially as a merchant, upsetting us our like a Lightning POS system that we have. We use it on the back end for just business purposes and moving Bitcoin around. That helps and improves our operations. But really, besides that, we don't really shown anything else to users. And so what you're going to see is that because Fold is going to build out like a wallet infrastructure that you're going to be able to hold Bitcoin, you're going to see increased amounts of ways to interact with Lightning over the next 6 months as we go through our roadmap. And so you will get more. It's probably going to be send function, withdraw function, things like that. But as of now, you can buy things via Lightning. And that's what we started on. We actually were one of the first merchants to even operating on Lightning Network with Lightning ln.pizza, then went to decided to change. We actually took out on-chain payments within the app and swapped it and went all in on Lightning. And so we knew we left a lot of volume on the table there, but ultimately it simplified a ton of our business operations in a way that just made way more sense to do it that way. So you'll see more Lightning from us, but we purposely kept it pretty limited so we could make sure to focus on some other things.
Okay, so it dropped some of the volume, but because of all the microphones you're selling, the volume increased? Or?
Exactly. The microphone again is
business is.
I mean, the amount of microphones going over the Lightning Network now is incredible.
All thanks to Yellow.
All thanks.
God damn it.
I heard it solved the Oracle problem. You can actually transfer microphones over to Lightning Network now.
Exactly. And they're stable.
It's the Ben protocol.
there's
the audacity of you, Greg.
The audacity.
I don't understand the words you're throwing at me.
Oh,
so I'm going to take them as disrespect. Watch your mouth.
Okay.
All right.
Last time
are you gonna fight me like you're gonna do that fat guy?
I think he already backed up.
Back out.
Oh yeah, I was following that. Yes. Wait, the last time I saw Greg, he was out drinking a straight bottle of whiskey on the streets of Miami outside of a hotel. Do you remember that? It was like after Bitcoin Miami.
Sounds like he wouldn't remember that.
I think so. It was you and your wife. You guys were having a hell of a time, but just straight swigging back directly from the bottle. It was amazing. It was like
that was a bottle of rosé.
Oh, okay. All right. Classy.
And it was his anniversary.
It was my anniversary.
It looked romantic. That's why I didn't want to get too involved.
It's very classy of you, Greg, to drink straight from the bottle on the street.
My wife is a
happy anniversary
trooper. She agreed that the trip we were going to do for our 10-year anniversary could be Miami, and we did it. We went to the Bitcoin conference. We did a hotel, and the night I saw you in the lobby was like the one night we were doing like just us time. She was like, "Oh, go talk to Will." I was like, "No, we can't do that. I mean, anniversary time."
He deserved it. I'm glad you didn't waste time because we would have talked a bunch of bullshit and then she would have regretted her decision even more. So I'm sure you made it a lovely night for her, Greg.
It was fantastic. It was a good time. Now, Will, you find yourself in a position not many people find themselves in. You are surrounded by people and an organization that just doesn't exist. So now that you're here, do you have any questions for us?
Well, I've always wondered an organization, so like one of my first job, I have two. I've been used to these shadow organizations. One of my first jobs ever, I was a parking attendant for the Bohemian Grove up in Northern California, an organization that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. And then I was 10 years later, I was a bartender for the Masons, doesn't exist. Would serve them martinis while they're getting, taking off their clothes and doing stuff. And so now I'm in the midst of another secret organization of equal rapport and grandeur. Mm-hmm. What does it take? What is the process of getting vetted and becoming an official member of the meme factory? What does that look like?
I feel Becca can answer that.
Becca can answer that. I think this is a great question.
We also have an official application page. We can send it the link.
Yep,
later.
We can send you that. I'll send you from the HR department. I'll send you that link.
Go, Becca. Don't stop.
Ahead, Becca.
Go ahead, Becca.
Becca is not unmuting. Okay.
Labra just explained the process. So submit your application there. And it's a bumpy ride. If you are able to hold on, then maybe you can join.
There's a bit of hazing. There's a bit of hazing when you first come on. That's
slight.
There's a little bit of hazing.
Un poco.
But I'll send you the email, the link.
We'll see if he makes it.
Yeah. We'll see if you make it.
That's it? That's the question?
All right. Well, then I guess I was looking for something a little bit more. There's something I think maybe that part of the hazing process.
Okay, have you seen the Batman movie with
the one that you can't see anything? It's completely dark.
No, the new one, like the old trilogy, the Nolan ones.
Yes.
Okay, in the first Batman movie, the guy like goes up in the mountains to find a blue flower.
League of Shadows.
Yeah, you go up there, you find that flower, you bring it back. We make a cocktail, mojitos out of it or something. We drink, we laugh, and if we like you, we make fun of you, and then after that, you might get in. Something like that.
That's what I was looking for.
But not exactly.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
There's a microphone involved, but otherwise it's pretty close to what Yellow just described.
Okay, like there's been all these other, diet versions of the meme factory that have come up.
Oh, that's wonderful. We're gonna use that.
Are
We're gonna use
like
that.
who's actually a contender here? Because like they come and they go and they like talk a very big game and then you just don't hear about them anymore, and just one persists. The meme factory that again doesn't exist. Who are you guys looking at as maybe an up and coming group? Is there anyone you have your eyes on, or do they just blow away like sand? Give them a couple of weeks, they get one good meme on the board, and then you don't hear from them.
It's like Meme Factory SV, is what it is.
Meme Factory Cash.
There is no second test.
And here comes Hans now, and he's starting singing.
This is gonna not go. This is gonna cause some. Will, you just caused some problems for us? I'm sure.
No, it's not problems.
Thank you.
This is normal bear market behavior. We're gonna go into a meme fight, which is nice. I'm tired of fighting shitcoiners and.
Are we really gonna come up on the hour and not ask RD to ask his question?
Well, I mean, I wanted to make sure that Will had a chance to ask us a question and.
No, this is great. Yeah, I love that.
It's like Craig wants you, Will, to ask him a specific question.
No, I love that we potentially are going into war right after this.
Yep. Fantastic.
But that's great.
It's all right. I haven't been fighting much recently, so
yeah,
be a good time to kick it into gear.
Some BTC Moon calls us Meme Factory Classic.
That's good. That's really good.
This is gonna cause some problems.
All right.
Well, if you know your history, Ethereum Classic is the main chain. It's Ethereum basically.
Fuck that DAO. Well, like Pedro said, we're coming up on the hour. Want to make sure you get a chance to shill anything that we haven't talked about this evening.
Chill. Visit your favorite local Bitcoin company. Tell them what they're doing right. Tell them what you want to see. This is such a fun time because this is a breakout. We're going to survive through this bear market, and that's when true acceleration really happens. And this is, just as much the difference we saw from previous bear to the bull to this now bear. It's exponentially different world that we're now living in. We're going to see that same progress happen. So this like little world that we call Bitcoin Twitter is going to get even bigger. It's going to get more unmanageable, less coherent as this kind of tribe that's sitting there. And so I'd say, number one, appreciate these times, appreciate that you have a bunch of these cool businesses that are launching things. Pretty much you get something great from some company pretty much every 2 months or so. And so use them, helps that helps what accelerates all of our progress. And so definitely download Fold, keep spinning that wheel, and yeah, keep memeing. Appreciate what you guys do.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
And be excellent to each other. That's something that Keanu Reeves would say.
It is. All right, so
RD, wake up.
What's next? We doing RD or we doing Sean?
Both. RD.
Artie, wake up.
Artie, hello.
Wake up.
Do I have to unmute for this bit?
It's time.
Raise
It's
your
time
hand.
for you. It's time for you to shine, my friend.
Can you check your notes, RD? Can you check your notes, please?
Checked.
Don't worry, Will RD is shy. It's just a little bit shy.
Okay, well, if the meme factory did exist, and we all know it doesn't, which one of us would you like? Which one of us would you mute? And which one of us would you retweet?
Which one of you would I like, meet, and retweet?
Mute.
I get that right?
Mute.
Oh, mute.
Or retweet and like.
The easiest one is RD. I'm sorry, I could mute you because it didn't make a damn difference this whole podcast. So that's an easy.
Accurate.
That's way too easy. I'm
right
gonna go for. And then Mr. Microphone. Is he smoking a microphone now? He's very good. You guys are very good. Okay, which one would I like, and then which one I retweet? Is that what? Did I get that right? All right. Retweet. Who's gonna? Let's see. You all say such good shit pot stirring stuff sometimes that I just love, and sometimes I'm afraid to retweet it. But I'm gonna go with our newest member of the meme factory. I'm gonna go with Becca, who's been on a good run lately and came out very strong initially.
Thank you.
Nice.
And gave me insight into the ins and outs of how you join such a shadow organization like the Meme Factory.
It's tough, I tell you.
And then Yellow, I'm gonna give you the like here because I'm gonna come visit you in Greece, somewhere I've always wanted to go. I'm gonna bring you a personally inscribed fold card that's gonna be the only one that works in Europe for a European. I'm gonna get you some social security number that you can hop on the back of here, and we're gonna drink some Red Bull.
Make it Greg's.
Can you get me a social security that lets me work in the US?
We'll steal Greg's identity.
Can I also have social security, please?
This would be fantastic.
Oh my goodness. Sean, do you think, man?
Will, 2024 is coming up, man. And you know what happens in 2024?
What happens in 2024?
The halving. Unbeknownst to the other members of the Meme Factory, we're having a Meme Factory party. It's gonna be physical, and it's gonna be in El Sonte, El Salvador.
Physical.
What do you mean physical? Please be specific.
Have you been to El Salvador?
I have not been yet.
Well, don't go until the halving party.
So part of this, I'm looking sideways on this also because they're like, am I going to end up in fucking El Zonte, Liberia, like Mr. Yellow out here? I don't know if I'm in the middle of some kind of Meme Factory joke that I'm.
No, this is no joke. This is
okay.
For real.
This is real.
This is for real. We're having a halving party by the Meme Factory.
You can book your own ticket.
There we go. Yes, I'll book my own ticket. There we go. I knew the agreement here was I would get a plane ticket out of showing up on this. I'll book it myself.
Will, if this is some sort of rug, then we're gonna rug like every guest we've had.
Yes. El Zonte, Ohio. El Zonte, Ohio.
No, you're invited. Your family's invited. Come on out. We're gonna have a blast. It's block height, 840,000.
Yes,
I love it.
And we just think that the halving is like the Olympics of Bitcoin every 4 years. We're not going to just sit back, crack a beer open on YouTube. We're going to enjoy it together with the plebs. We're going to have a great time. El Salvador is the best place to have it for these last 4 years.
We're going to stream it too, right?
Yeah, we'll do some streaming out there. And
especially after a few beers.
Yes. And it's going to be a blast. So be ready for it. Tell everyone you know and come on down because we're going to make this one really special, as it should be. It's the halving.
I feel like this is the real 100K party that we all actually want to celebrate. So I'm absolutely going to be there. My first trip to El Zonte was canceled because I came down with COVID my day before jumping on the airplane, failed that test, so I wasn't able to go. And so I will definitely wait up if I can and join you all in wonderful El Zante. Part of my question was when are we going to have the Meme Factory conference? But I guess you're already in the midst of planning it, so I'm there. That's fun.
Yeah,
We're working up to
Family too.
once every 4 years. That's it. That's all you're gonna get out of the Meme Factory.
That's just the right amount of pace of work, I imagine, from you all. So
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, so Will, appreciate you coming by. Anybody who wants to take a look at what Will and Fold is up to can take a look at the show notes. We've got links to his Twitter bio and as well as the Fold bio and webpage. Everybody have a safe night. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for your time, Will.
Thank you, Will.
Thanks,
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.